Hello, everybody. Welcome to Raw Reality. I am Raw of Earth, and to me, it seems like the middle of summer right now. And so, as we move into the middle of summer, it'd be good if we were in coordination, in harmonization with what's going on. So, I'd like you guys to share right now, because we're in the middle of summer, what are you doing that is summer like? For me, it's making sure that I'm aligned with the sunrise and the sunset. The great thing about the summertime is that sunrise is happening before 6 a.m. So it's like 5 something when light is starting to come out. Getting outside as early as possible with the morning sun is going to set our biorhythms in alignment so that we have energy throughout the day and then are winding down when we come to the nighttime. I also am making sure to get sun constantly. Sun exposure is what the summertime is about. And if we're not exposing ourselves to the sun often, then what? Then the one time that we go out, maybe we go out with friends or we go on to the lake or to the beach, then we're going to get absolutely fried. So making sure that we're in harmony with the sun, that we have a good relationship with the sun. Somebody said, love the light here in Sweden. I'm guessing that it's pretty much never gone. And depending on where you are in Sweden, we were there last summer, and I remember one of the days we were eating dinner, and it was 9 p.m. And at 9 p.m., the sun was still like this high as we were just eating dinner. It was super not bright, but it is always summer-like. Yeah, that's also why. Oh, come more connection. What's going on here? All right. Pay for the strongest internet available in the land, and I still have poor connection. All right. So, love the light here in Sweden. Where I live, there's always summer. Yeah, that's why I moved to California as well from Michigan. The sun is the universal vaccine. I mean, what we think of as a vaccine nowadays isn't even a vaccine, right? It's like some other thing. It's essentially like a biochemical warfare, right? It's going into our body to essentially destroy any sort of natural immunity, natural progress that the body has to develop itself around the environment. Walking outside, laying out in the sun and music in the park, salsa dancing. Yes, guys, it's summertime in the northern hemisphere, which most of us on the entire planet are. I don't know like what sort of variations of planets we could be talking about here. Like, is it a globe? Is it flat? Is it hollow? Is it a matrix? Is it owned by reptilians or benevolent beings? Is it multidimensional? Are we all here in one reality, or is it multiple realities? Who knows? But I do know that most of us are in summertime right now. My vitamin D was 0. Now I relocated to the seaside, and I've never been better and getting early too. 4 hours of hazy night light. Yes, that's in Sweden, I think. So the question was, what are we doing in summertime that's different from the rest of the year? We're cyclical beings, right? We have circadian rhythms, which are 24-hour rhythms. We have ultradian rhythms and infradian rhythms as well, which are under 24-hour rhythms and over 24-hour rhythms. So we do have a rhythm with the cycle of the year. As the sun gets more, we do different things. Just like the trees fruit in the springtime and the summertime, some trees bloom when it's nighttime. So we all get to have a good relationship with the seasons. And I'm mentioning this because it is vitally important. Make sure that you're stepping out from indoors, especially if you're working 9, 10, 12 hours a day indoors underneath artificial lights. It's summertime. Go outside before work. Go outside after work. Get connected to the earth. Put your feet on the ground. You're going to be receiving the download, the information from the earth. Get yourself plugged in. When you eat Okay, good. This is another thing that we're going to get into. Thank you for bringing it up, Scott. When you eat under sunlight special sugar carbs, your body better regulates your blood sugar and insulin. Eating under artificial blue light is a no-no. So when you're eating foods that are grown indoors under artificial light is what I think you're talking about, guys. So if you think about fruit, when you think about vegetables, what are we actually consuming? We're consuming stored sunlight mixed with air, earth, water, and the consciousness that puts that all together, right? And the light, the stored sunlight, is what? It's information. It's information about the codes of the entire universe. So when you look up into the sky at nighttime when our sun is not so strong, you see the light of the rest of what's going on. Think about everything as electrically connected. And our system, again, could be different than a gravitational model of the universe, but I'm just using that gravitational model to explain what else it could be, like an electric universe model. But think about our system, our solar system, as a node. And all the information from the rest of the galaxy or the rest of the universe or God, the heavens, God, is coming, is connecting to our system, our solar system. And then we are birthed out of that, and we are connected to that. And the way that all that information gets into us is us being outside, collecting with our solar cells. That's what melanin is. Melanin transmits electricity when we use it in technology right now. It's a very valuable substance for technology. Melanin is in our hair, our skin, our eyes, and our brain. So there's pheomelanin in our, like, it's the red stuff. I remember pheo as in like face. Pheo is like the lighter melanin. And then there's eumelanin, which is the darker melanin, the browns, the browns and darker blacks, the pupils of our eyes. And then there's neuromelanin, which it takes all of that light and it transmits it into the body, where we do a lot of important processes like hormones and when to sleep and how we think and how we feel. And it's feeding the different chakras, it's feeding the different organs and glands information about what's going on in the environment. And so if we're disconnected from the natural rhythms, the natural cycles of the seasons, then that information isn't going to happen. And as Scott said, if you're eating food that isn't connected to the light, think about what food is. Right? Like, that is essentially collecting most all of the light that hits it except for the green light spectrum. So it's collecting a lot of red, it's collecting a lot of blue from the visible light spectrum of the light. It's also collecting a lot of other of that, more than just the 1% of the visual light spectrum. It's collecting a lot of the other light spectrum and it's putting it into the fruits, and it's also putting it into the leaves, the stem, the stalk, the flowers, which we all can consume as well, and or animals consume that. And then when we're eating the animal, that's the information that we're getting if we are eating animals. So if we're eating food for less fruits and vegetables that are made with the lowest quality of everything, lowest quality water, lowest quality light, lowest quality fertilizers, lowest quality and probably herbicides, pesticides, that's all going into our system. And not to mention the poisons, but the light is inaccurate. What is the impact of the moon on our body? How do we plan between lunar and solar timings? So it's more than just the moon and the sun, right? There's also planets involved in there and asteroids that are all impacting us. I don't have the knowledge to answer this question, so I'm going to just refer you to Christopher Witecki. I interview him here on this channel every single Monday at noon Pacific time. And so this week, in the breakdown of the week, what he talked about was deciding to go in a different direction that is other than the one that has not been serving you. So this week we get this realization that how we've been doing things isn't ideal, and we make a choice, or we don't make a choice to choose what is ideal. And that's what's going on, because today is a full moon too, right? Today or tomorrow is a full moon. One of you guys can tell me about that. And also, please feel free to answer the other questions that you guys have. There's also a question box at the bottom. So, regarding cycles of the season, there's you can feel it in your skin, guys. If you go outside and you let the sun hit your skin, as much of it as possible. I understand being naked is weird for some people. I understand that it's not possible because of the norms and the laws in our society. But if you go outside and let as much of your skin as possible absorb the light, because melanin is absorbing the light, you will feel a sort of charge in your skin. And if you pay closer attention, you can feel this charge extending away from your skin and even connecting to the sun. All you need to do is be aware of it. That's what opens the portal to allow your awareness of this. And then you can feel the charge going into your body. And just knowing that allows you to follow that and get a deeper relationship with the sun. Yeah, Scott is talking about tan through shorts. The problem is they're all made of plastic, and I have a bunch of different pairs, and I'm trying to recreate them with natural fibers. If you know any of them that are made from natural fibers, I've just been using my sort of like older boxers, trying to hopefully sun gets through it, but none does. But if you have any tan through shorts that are natural, let me know where those are. Tomorrow is full moon. Thank you for that accurate statement. All energy is frequency. Stay with high energy levels of frequency. Organic, non-GMO, non-pesticide, chemically based, non-pesticide and non-chemically based food. Yeah, guys, there's let me look this up. Because when it comes to purity, it's important for all of us to make sure that we have a relationship to the food that we're eating, and making sure that it's convenient, making sure that we're able to consume it, we're able to get it at a regular rate, and that we're not being tricked. A lot of what's going on in the market is trickery and marketing. And when you have the dollars at stake, then you can pretty much just say whatever you would like to make sure that people take the credit cards out of their wallet and swipe it. And the supplement industry is not regulated. And I would say that most stores, when you go to them and you're buying organic, still doesn't feel right. So we go to the farmer's market every week or multiple times a week, and the food there is not convenient. We'll buy the best tasting organic peaches and nectarines. So back to the cycles of the season. Eat the food that's in season. So when you go to the farmer's market, you're getting seasonal fruits and vegetables. And we buy like the most awesome tasting peaches, nectarines, plums, oranges, tangerines. They taste so good. We take them home, and within 2 or 3 days, they're like not good. On the other hand, we go to the store and we go get something there, and for some reason it's lasting like 10 to 15 days. And I'm like, what is the difference here? Why is the shelf life so much more when I buy it from the store? And then I start asking that. You just like logically can tell that like maybe there's some trickery going on there. Maybe there's some fooling around with gassing it or putting some sort of chemical on it. That's what Apeel is. If you guys are unaware of Apeel, A-P-E-E-L, this is a Bill Gates partnered horrible thing that's going into our food supply. It doesn't need to be labeled. You can't wash it off. You can't cook it off. It essentially gives our fruits and vegetables a very, 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 very long shelf life, and it can be used and is being used in organic produce without a label. Whole Foods is selling Apeel products. A lot of your grocery stores are selling Apeel products. And so look up the grocery stores that you go to, and are they using Apeel? Also, just while I'm on it, Bragg's apple cider vinegar is tarnished as well, bought up by Bill Gates. Okay, so in Capricorn, that is ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline, time, and responsibility. Great time to let go of limiting beliefs tied to control status. How to define success, and it's being called to. Balanced emotional needs. I love being a reflection in my skin and the sun. No processed foods. Eat some squid ink. It's straight up melanin and has an intense flavor profile. That's a yes. Something about pharmaceutical grade supplements that doesn't sit well with me. Exactly, because natural flavors indicate of 3 things: dairy, spices, and thousands of GMO chemicals made to mimic real food create natural flavor. I mean, we use organic flavoring with my business partner and what we do with Purium. But we also have purity commitments. No herbicides, no pesticides, no synthetic ingredients, no binders, no fillers. The few products that we have that are flavored also come in unflavored, but the flavoring is organic flavoring, and it's organic fruits and vegetables. So no weird stuff like beaver, anal glands, stuff like that. So eat food per season. You can go to the farmer's market for inspiration of that. You can use Google to let you know what to eat in the summertime. Our body's hormonal structure changes. So not only are we better at processing fruits at times where there's a lot of light, but it also, that contributes to us exercising more and being outside and active more, which also contributes to our body needing more things with sugar, like sugary fruits. And so being more active in the summer all acts together. So that's another thing. Activity levels increase during the summer. That is so discouraging about Bragg's apple cider vinegar and other products we are led to believe are truly organic. Yeah, I mean, most everything is, especially in the grocery stores, are owned by a few corporations, right? The mega corporations, like Burt's Bees isn't owned by Burt anymore, right? And like a lot of these companies that have a name in the front, they're now not owned by those companies, and they're owned by a company that's owned by a company that's owned by BlackRock. And it's like they're selling the poison and the solution all together, and it's a laughable thing that we're here to witness. We're here to experience, and we're here to grow and evolve through. And this is like a game that all of us who are aware, it's like clear what our role is. It's like this is the training wheels version of us being deities. We're placed into an environment where there's a whole bunch of people that are unaware, and without them even asking, in fact, they're resisting. They need our help. They need guidance. And we must do it without breaking karma. We have to figure out how to voluntarily, meaning that they're volunteering, they're asking for, they're consenting to us leveling them up with us. And it's quite a game, because if we just go out giving unrequested advice, it's similar to us giving a kid a machine gun that he can't really lift. The person may not be able to take on the lesson with responsibility and or completely reject it, which would set back their evolution, all because of you not being aware of the game. We must have buy-in. We must be invited to solve people's problems. And in fact, we'll never be able to solve somebody else's problems. We need to be invited to support somebody else in their evolution. If we're going around just telling people that what they're doing is wrong and that they should be doing it better, that's sort of castrating their growth. It's making them potentially feel shame, and it's offloading the tension that you have within yourself, probably having to do with the same problems that you're going out and pointing fingers about. It's preventing you from looking internally. One of the first things that we learn in Psychology 101 is the things that we don't like about other people are the exact same things that we don't like about ourselves. And the things that we admire about other people are the things that we admire about ourselves. It's like literally you open up a psychology book and that's the first page. Okay? Now when you think about that, when you apply that into reality, the things that you see going on, like let's say you are super pissed off when you see others taking advantage of other people. Most people have this story in their mind where the reason why that they don't like seeing other people take advantage of other people is because they were taken advantage of. And that's what triggers them. When you dig deep enough, you'll see that what's actually happening is, yeah, you were taken advantage of and it hurt you, and that also taught you to take advantage of others before they take advantage of you. And so you are participating in this taking advantage of cycle unknowingly. It's a program that subconsciously, unconsciously, you're not really aware of, but it's causing disharmony within yourself. Because it's a program that was implemented into you, and it's disagreeing with your system. The act of you doing it is what is causing this disharmony. And so then when you see others do it, that's the easy out for you to point the finger at and or be a savior towards that person that needs your help to change the ways that they are. It's so much easier for you to give advice to other people. It's so much easier for me to give advice to other people as well. I'm not saying that I'm free of this, okay? There's a lot that we all are unaware of and there for us to work on. And it's just like, the classical metaphor of like peeling back layers of the onion. And so when you start peeling back layers of the onion, you start to see that there's some unresolved things inside of you. And that's all we really need to do, guys, to contribute to society. We don't have to change the ways of others. We don't have to educate other people. We don't have to bring awareness to literally anything. It's just you. Bring awareness to the parts of you that matter to you. Resolve them, figure out what's next, keep on resolving them. When you light up these power centers in your body, contribute back to society from your strengths. Your strengths, what you find gives you the most satisfaction, what you're the best at, and also where that cross intersects with what you can make money doing, because we use that in this day and age. And by us all doing that, we start to form reality based on all of our unique individual strengths, as opposed to all of us trying to destroy what other people are doing, trying to change other people to make them do things the way that we do it. Our differences is what gives this realm its beauty, its excitement, and there's a line of souls waiting to come here because of that. The misting sprayers over the fruits and vegetables contain either bleach or a chemical agent to prevent the foods from spoiling faster. Provides a longer shelf life, but is horrible for us. Dr. Bronner's soap, no good either. Psh. Guys, there's a documentary I saw 2009-ish. So it's so funny that I do this. So that's like 16 years ago. Maybe 2010. But I remember when I was young, like 17, my friend John and I, we would always comment about how the older guys always would say, back in 1983, yada, yada, yada. We'd always go, why do old men always talk about the year that something happened? Number one, and how do they remember that? And here I am right now as a 42-year-old, which would have been an old man to me at 17. And it's something gratifying about listing the date that something happens. It number one, it grounds me to the experience so that I can explain it better, but it also is just like, it's gratifying to think how much time has passed since that moment. And usually I remember the time because I can remember like who it was, and I can arrange what year it was based on maybe the location I was on Earth, or the friend that I had and when I was friends with them, or some sort of career that I was doing. Like I know that like I owned gyms for 10 years, so this was, before that, this was when I was living in Michigan, not California, and I can really get dates pretty accurately. And I think that in itself is gratifying to actually like pinpoint time. Probably because the next evolution of where we're going, and I'm just thinking about this right now for the first time. So we're going to evolve as humanoids to a place where time and space are no thing. Like they don't exist. Time and space, the structure of linear time and physical space, is a structure within this reality that we're experiencing as third density beings. We are shielded from going into the past or the future, right? We're just always existing in the now. And then we travel through physical space with these physical bodies. Well, there's eventually a place that we evolve to as humanoids where we disembody. We become enlightened. We lose our physical structure, and instead of traveling through physical space, we start traveling through time. And at that point, remembering, becoming a member with, again, a certain time, and being able to travel there, be in a certain space, is going to be how we operate at that level, which is already happening right now. Like, so there's a part of us that's already evolved to that state, but there's an aspect of that grander part of us that's living here now in this density. Density refers to sort of like dimension, but it's sort of like an aspect. So these higher level aspects of us that can travel through time and space differently than we travel through time and space, it's got a component of it within us, our being right now, and it's experiencing, call it God if you'd like. God is experiencing all lives that have ever lived, all spaces, right? He's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. And right now, God is within us, experiencing linear time in physical space, but also has a bigger perspective where it's also experiencing linear time in physical space of many, many different beings that have ever existed, all happening now, and its intelligence can weave in through that, and it is. And then there's also the stages in between. So where we start to sort of like dissolve from individuals into oneness. And so when you start thinking about why people crave certain things, superpowers, right? Like it's because they become attainable at different levels of these dimensions and densities, and we're actually connected to that. We have threads of us that are connected to that, so it's happening now. I don't know how I got on that tangent. Bragg's history is interesting. Paul Bragg, a health food pioneer and nutritionist, significantly influenced Jack LaLanne. LaLanne credits Bragg. That's cool. Tesla also was massively into health. Eventually you realize that we can't have the mental world and the emotional world and the spiritual world without our physical body being primed and being able, right? And the same thing, we can't have anything else with any of these other things being in deficit. You could even put financial health in there as well. The full, complete, greatest version of ourselves is going to have a good relationship with the physical body, with our mental body, with our emotional body, with our non-physical, call it spiritual body, and then also able and capable to maneuver in this game that we call life, where we have things like relationships, money to consider. Not saying that more is better, but we have a choice. Like, are we able to make a choice of our lifestyle? If we want to just live underneath the waterfall and not need any money, are we able to do that? Do we have time to do that? Or if we would like to have a lot of responsibility and big, teams of people working for us, are we able to catalyze that with our will, with our intention? And so we've got all of this, and it's all functioning together, and it's all reflective of each other. And so if we ignore one of those aspects, then the whole thing comes crumbling down. And so great thinkers throughout history had interest in harmony of the physical body. Think about Plato, think about Pythagoras. Right? Pythagoras was like a mathematical genius, but also like musically capable. He like developed the scale as a way to find harmony with the human body. These frequencies harmonize the cells. That's why they sound good, because they're geometrically in balance, in alignment with what is in alignment to us. This is why even myself, I've got an aspect of my profession that I'm guiding people through lifestyle transformations with superfoods. I used to own gyms for 10 years. I've been in health and fitness and sports my entire life. And now I've got practices where we do mental work, reprogramming, and we go into a meditative, physical, energetic practice with self-expansion.app is where you find those practices, because it's like, what can we do that's all encompassing? Like, and if we don't have time, how can we do a lot of things in a very short amount of time that's touching all of the different aspects of ourselves, so nothing's really getting ignored? Exactly. All reality is self. Yes, because they afford celebrities to advertise for them and wipe the smaller competition. Yeah. Or even like Amazon will do something like take in a product, dissect the product, figure out how to make it, and then undercut the actual inventor of the product until they go out of business, and then they'll eventually raise their prices. That's like a strategy that a lot of corporations use. All is simply leading by example. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Preach, hear, hear, yes. It's how we learn and evolve through the earth school. Yes. This is all a mystery school, guys. Mystery schools existed traditionally to shield the uninitiated from the secrets and the laws of reality. And the initiates, when they were to go and enroll into these mystery schools, would have to prove their value, their worth, their understanding. They would train these things as well. Do I have... Hold on, I'm going to show you guys something really cool. If I have it here, please have it here. Now I really want to show you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go get... Okay, so I've got 2 books here. The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, Volume 1. The Ancient Secret of the Volume Life, or the Flower of Life, the Volume of Life, Volume 2. So in these books, there's a lot of talk about geometry and the Merkaba and the ascension of humans and like how chakras actually are, right? The way that we're taught is that there's just like circles or chakras that go up the body. This is like explaining how they spin, and that's why we have like 1 penis and then it spins, and then we have 2 testicles and then it spins, and then we have 1 gland, I forget what, and then it spins again, and then we have 2 kidneys, then it spins again, then we have 1 heart, and then it spins again, and then we have 2 lungs, and then it spins again, and then you have 1 stuff in here, and then it spins again, and then we have blah blah blah. And there's 1, then 2, then like so, and then 1, and so it's really cool. But I'm trying to find also back to like the scales, right, of music. This is the Vitruvian Man was actually a speaking of densities, it was a measurement of where we are as humans, like where we're it's ascension, like we're in the phase 2 of this Vitruvian Man, and Vitruvius actually made phase 1, and it's about the different proportions of our limbs and torso equals the first, there is energy flow through the chakras, and from the chakras, the meridians reach. All right. So why am I here? Because I'm looking for... Here it is. Here it is. So there's this place in Egypt, temple at Kam Ambo. And there's an initiation site at Kam Ambo. And this site is like all in ruins, right? But what... Right there, there's like a little hole with water in it. What it actually looked like was this. So you see that person has to jump into the water, and without any light, without any instruction, get out. So the person goes down this shaft. So there's the person. He's going to go down this shaft, and then he comes into here, and there's... Forget if they're crocodiles or alligators, but it's going to see them, and coming up here doesn't allow for escape. So even if they come up here and they grab air, then they look around and there's no way for escape, then they have to go back down and they have to come out a way that they didn't come in, which is here, and then come up and out. And so this is an example of an initiation practice that did what? It allowed one to practice and also prove that they were able to manage their breath, manage their emotions, manage their mind, manage their body, harmonize with reality, harmonize with the elements of air and water, and be able to make it through, make decisions to find the exit. You guys see? So this is actually the top view down, but it's harder to explain. You guys can kind of see here that there's one way in and one way out. That's correct. And there's a lot of perceived risk, and there's a lot of having to deal with fear, confidence, trust without breathing. And initiation schools were needed back then. What do we have now? Getting back to the point I was making. We have life. We have corporate entities taking advantage of us and spraying chemicals and poisons from the sky. We have alternative perspectives flooding the media channels, saying that the other side is wrong and they should die. And our friends and families are on different sides of these perspectives. And we have a school system that's teaching us literally the wrong way to do everything, so that when we become a functioning adult, we have to enter that pool amongst all of this chaos and be able to maneuver ourselves through life to get out the other side intact. And all of the initiation secrets are available to us, but they don't really serve that much of a purpose because we all get to do it every single day in life. Like, we're at a stage right now in humanity where everything is known. There's nothing secretive. So these initiation schools that hide secrets, hide things, are just, they're like men's clubs where people can get together. But the rest of us guys are just refusing to learn the lessons. We're just the guys standing. I wish I could get this thing back in 3 seconds. 2, 1. We're just the guy standing on the edge of the pool, afraid to jump in. I can't find it. We're just afraid to jump in. I'm going to say one more thing with this book, which is a really cool thing. So stay tuned. It has to do with sex and orgasm. But and no judgment on any of that, because back then there was no judgment. There was an understanding of no judgment. Do you believe that jumping time quantum jump is as easy as people say it is? Because I've heard a lot about recently where people say that's how you get what you're looking for in life faster. I will say that whatever you believe will be true. Straight up. That's the paradox of it all. It's a paradox. Oops. It's definitely a paradox. Okay, so you were channeling? I feel my body shaking inside like crazy 99% of the time. Is anyone else feeling this as I ever did before? All is one. Timelines occurring in the now. Timelines. I want to know too. I use the soap. Oh, Dr. Bronner's. So, I'm just scrolling through the comments. Give me 1 second, everybody. You guys are important. You're powerful. And I just want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your takeaways, your questions. So that quantum jumping one is still relevant. I'm going to just get back to that. I kind of answered it. So, no, it's not. I don't know what that's referring to. Name of the book, I'll say that in a second. Yes, I listened to some today and it calmed it down, but I started to try some more. Not sure what that was referring to. The unknown. What's the name of the book again, please? All right, I'll get it in a second. Abraham Hicks' teachings are saying that by focusing on the present and aligning with positive emotions, we can shift the focus on different timelines and manifest. So that was explaining, or that was the comment to the other question about jumping timelines and quantum shifting. Have you tried crystal sound bowl meditation? Great, obvious. This can help balance the central autonomic nervous system, breathwork, breathing techniques, on Spotify and YouTube. What do I have down here? We had a bowl somewhere. I have gigantic gongs. If you guys see like some of my other videos, I've got a 36-inch pasty and a 40-inch Wuhan gong. Yeah, I used to go to a lot of sound healings. But now chanting is really where it's at for me. It's like producing our own sound and then also working with our voice and having a relationship on where we're speaking from. Okay, name of the books. The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And they are written by Drunvalo Melchizedek. It has a lot to do with Egypt, the pyramids, the Merkaba, obviously the flower of life, and like sort of like what the story of the flower of life is. And then also a lot to do with this thing called squaring the circle. So it kind of breaks down what squaring the circle means. And then also the Vitruvian Man. I want to see if I can find version 3 of the Vitruvian Man, which is where we're going to. So you guys all know so this is version 1. And then version 2 is Leonardo da Vinci's version. And then this would be the ascended version of the human. And so it gets longer. And if you guys know about Tartaria and the giants, we definitely do get longer. and what Gary would say from Human Garage is that it's like this fascial restriction. Like the more tight and compressed and dehydrated we are, the less capable we are and the smaller we get. And the more open, hydrated, which is flowing biophotonic energy we are, the longer and more open we get. Okay, so I promise you one other thing that I'll show you. So in here, I used to have to like, I have some triggers on some of my posts on Instagram that actually do very, very well. Maybe I'll post it. I'll post it on my my other account. It's selfexpansion.app. Selfexpansion.app about sexual energy. But I usually don't post it on Raw of Earth because I represent a bunch of people professionally that it's just not on brand for what I do with Purium and my network marketing organization where, so I just have a responsibility, and I'm also on the board of the company at Purium. So anything I say can be looked like to other brand partners that Purium as an organization feels the same way. And so I'm just a little mindful of the things that I share on Raw of Earth. But selfexpansion.app Instagram page, I can share a little bit more weird stuff. So I'm trying to find... So back to the way the chakras go through, right? So I was explaining how it was going blue, blue, blue. It was going like... here's some names that or some things like penis and clitoris and vagina that are just normal names, but for some people it could be triggering. So anyways, that's happening. And then this would be like how we could redirect this energy that comes out of our sacral chakra, out of our root. We can redirect it back so that it doesn't stay... It doesn't go external to us. So if we imagine through the process of releasing, we're releasing a lot of creative energy that's going to make a baby. It's going out the system. And then this is explaining how, and they would actually use the Ankh, which is what this is. That Ankh is representing like cycling that energy back in through the system and coming in through our pineal gland. And all of this just happens through imagination, guys. Like the image nation, right? Like the the anyways, these are just other philosophies on how the body works. And at a certain level, you can get to the root of it all and see that everything sort of aligns together. Like whether it's yoga, whether it's religion, whether it's the philosophy of human garage, or whether it's ancient knowledge or new machine technology, essentially bringing us back to harmony of self. How can we harmonize the frequency, the energy of ourself? All right, so your perception is your reality. Yes. The shaking in myself. So, who's doing that? I think it's Maureen is talking about the shaking. Did you try turning all the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, etc.? Can someone write the names of the book in the comments? Look up dysautonomia and central autonomic nervous system dysregulation, or it can be as simple as awakening spiritual experience, or both. Yeah, I mean, what you could be going through is spontaneous Kundalini awakening, which is essentially a wave of energy that one may not be prepared for. I've been shaking like crazy for a few months all myself. Okay, I've some, what you can do is ground yourself. And so there's a few different methods you can do that. What I would do is I would start by putting my back up against a tree. So go outside, find a tree that is attractive to you, and put your back up against that tree and see if that can ground you. That's one thing that you can do. And then you can Google or look up grounding for spontaneous Kundalini awakening. And there's a whole bunch of other practices that you can do to get your energy back to stable. If it's been going on for several months, that seems a little bit long. Some people, it's actually a couple months is pretty much kind of like the norm, actually, now that I think about it. I was going to say a couple weeks to a couple months. It's amazing how some of us have had this internal knowing of what you're talking about, but society teaches us that is wrong. Yeah, of course. And then there's other weird stuff too, right? Like urine therapy, which, Maureen, that might help you out. If you want to go with something extreme, recycle your own nutrition. And you can just start with a sip and see how that feels. Sometimes being barefoot on the grass, if nothing works. Leaning your head on a tree, ground works as well. Yeah, that's going to recycle that energy. Yeah. Thank you. I did that 2 days ago. All right. If everybody here can, energy that she embodies, grounding into the earth. I mean, I actually see her like floating away from her body right now. So if we can just bring her back enough so that she feels comfortable in her state of awareness. And everyone that's doing this, take one of your hands and squeeze it tight into a fist. And that feeling of groundedness in your fist, insert that into the image of Maureen. All right, take one more breath. And we can release that and hope for the best. All right, guys. I think that's it. Thank you so much for the comments. There's a lot of them today. Of course, this will be reposted, and visit me. I'm at raw_of_earth. I'm here every single week, every single Wednesday at 12 Pacific time. And yeah, I talk about us, our expansion into self-awareness and how reality works to my knowledge. And I like to bring resources like these books. And take care, everybody. Bye-bye.